Ralph Davella back. This is the series for beginners, beginning trumpet lessons. This is lesson number 9. So if you're just joining us, I suggest you go back and start with lesson number 1, work your way up to number 9. You can take your time, do it at your own time. Take a week, 2 weeks at each lesson, whatever you need. But for today, we're on to lesson number 9. So let's just get started, because the lessons are getting a little bit longer, and let's not waste time. Let's get right to it. Okay, like always, we're going to put each page of the lesson up on the screen so you can see it. You can copy it down. You can do it whatever you need to do to keep it, and we're also going to play it together. But don't forget to read everything. And one of the differences in this lesson, it's going to tell you if you just read it. Tonguing exercise number 1 is presented for the first time. So we're going to talk about tonguing in this lesson. Rhythms, dotted quarter notes, and eighth notes. So these are some of the things that are in this lesson. So make sure you read. You read down. You read everything. And like always, we're going to start the lesson by doing lip buzzes first, and then we do a mouthpiece buzz. Then we get into playing the trumpet. All right, so let's do this first thing. Let's do this lip buzz only, and we'll do it together. I'll leave it up on the screen, and I'll play it with you. All right, so we're going to count to 4 here. We're playing the G, but like always, it's a lip buzz, so we're not worried about playing the correct note. We're just worried about starting to get the blood flow through the lips. So let's do the lip buzz together. I'll give you a 4 countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, so we're just worried about getting the lips buzzing. My lips weren't buzzing very well right at this moment, but it's okay. We'll work into it. And the next thing that we're going to do is the mouthpiece buzz. So again, now we're going to put the mouthpiece on, and we're going to play this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All right, so now we're saying 2 for each one of these. So that's a form of tonguing. So it's 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so that's a form of tonguing. And now we're going to move on to the next exercise. Let me put it up on the screen for you. Okay, this is the next exercise, the 6 notes. This is a foundational exercise. We're always going to be playing these 6 notes. This builds strength, endurance, consistency. So make sure you read everything about how to take a breath. We're leaving it on. We're not moving everything around. Once we put it on, we leave it on. We go as far as we can. If we can't go any farther, we take it off and rest, and then continue to the end. So we're going to do it one time right now, but actually I want you to, at this point, I want you to do it 2 times. That builds strength. So let's play from the G to the C together. And again, here's the quarter note equals 60. So if you have a metronome, you can set your metronome on 60. And it's good to keep time that way. It helps a lot. All right, so right now we're just going to play it. We're going to begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3. Okay, now I want you to do it again, and we're going to try to do it twice without taking it off. So we'll get as far as we can. We'll eventually build up to that. Make sure you read everything. It's very important. And so that's the all-important 6 notes. Next, we're going to do the chromatics down. Again, make sure you read everything, every little note, because besides just playing, we're learning music at the same time, a little at a time. So chromatics, we're going to go down, they call half steps. And the first one is from G to G flat. And you'll see the fingerings are above it, and then below it tells you the note. So you can't go wrong. You know, you've been doing it now, and we continue and go working our way down, 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 until eventually we're going to hit a low F sharp, which really is the lowest note on the trumpet. So let's play this together, and then we'll count 1, 2, 3. Okay, now don't let, you see I have written in there where it says ta, T-A-H, then A-H. That's what you're thinking. So when you're going below the staff, we're thinking ta when we tongue the note. And then as we push down, we slur, ah. So it's ta. That's what you're thinking when you're, and that's the only reason that's written in there. Don't let it confuse you. But don't forget now, that little slur line, let me get up here and show you. The slur line from here, that little slur line, as we learned already, that just means that you're pushing the finger down, pushing it down fast, so you don't get bad notes in between, and not tonguing the next note. It's just you're pushing the valve down, the next note comes out, and it comes out with what they call a slur. All right, and where's that ta? See ta? So you're just thinking ta. So that's what that's written in there for. So like I say, read everything, and we're learning as we go along. All right, now on this exercise, the intervals, this is the interval of the second. There's intervals. The intervals are the distance between notes. In this case, you got G to A. The distance is only 1 note, because the next note after G is A. So then back to G. So interval of the second. And this is a very important exercise. This builds strength like no other exercise will do. So we went over this, the way you play these exercises, but we're going to go over it once again now. So let's read it. Use the following skills to play the exercise. 1, form the armature by saying M. The lips should line up evenly and touch together. 2, bring the trumpet to the lips. 3, take a deep breath in. 4, count to 4 before playing the first note of each exercise. 5, to set the note, say 2 with the lips touching together, blowing long steady air through the trumpet. So blowing the long steady air is what gives you the slur from each note to each note. And then it allows you to sustain the note for long periods of time. Any notes played from the 4th space E and up, you pronounce T to start the note instead of 2. All right, so you see the 4th space E this here. So we're going to say T, and over here again T-E. On these other notes is 2 to start. But as we get up higher, you say T. That puts the tongue in the correct position. All right, once you start this exercise, leave the trumpet on your lips until the completion of the exercise, including the rest in between notes. 7. Breathing in through the nose is very important to leave the trumpet in place for the exercise to develop the facial muscles necessary to becoming a good trumpet player. In order to leave the horn in place and not move the setting, you must breathe in through the nose, not the mouth, after you start the exercise. 8. For each set of notes, tongue the first note, then slur the rest, the next two. Okay, tongue the first, slur the next two. Tongue the first, slur the next two. All right, play the intervals as far as you can in one setting, rest 30 seconds. You are now finished. Let me read that again. Play the intervals as far as you can in one setting, then rest 30 seconds. Continue playing from that point. So let's say you only make it to here. Take it off, rest 30 seconds, and continue from here. See how much farther you can go. After that point, you're finished with the exercise. Rest 10 minutes before continuing to the next exercise. So these are stressful exercises. They tax your muscles, so they need the rest. So that's why after this exercise, try to rest for about 10 minutes. Note, all notes from the E on the fourth space and above, pronounce T to tongue the note and E to slur the note. We already talked about that. T, E, E. All right. Let's play this one together. Like always, I'll give you a 4-beat counting. So it's 2 beats, 2 beats, 4 beats. Half note, whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's exercise. That exercise is very difficult to make it, all the way to that point. So I don't really expect you to make it to that point. If you do, that's fantastic. But doesn't matter what point you make it to. Even on the one note, leaving it on, not moving anything, breathing into my nose, not moving nothing at all, and I kind of missed the first note on one of those because this is not easy. So like I said, that's a tough exercise. I make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes doing that. Your lips are going to sometimes feel as though you want to move them, but we're trying not to on this exercise. We're trying to go from beginning to end. That's a very important exercise. Time to move on to the next exercise. This exercise is called the developing skills. So each week we keep playing it and we try to go higher and higher. This week we're trying to reach always up to the G, but it's not important to have to make it that far. The important thing is to try to keep tempo and not move the mouthpiece and try to develop as far as we can. And make sure you read everything before you play it. And like I write in here about, once you're familiar with the notes, you're probably going to be, before you're familiar, you're probably going to be hesitant on pushing your valves down quickly and letting them up, because as you're thinking what note it is, sometimes you're not doing that. But the better you know the notes, the cleaner you can push your valves down and the better sound that you get. Follow the directions and let's play this one together. I want to point out in this exercise, let me get up and show you. This way you can follow me closer. On the first line here, it's a 4-beat rest. Second line is a 4-beat. Third line is a 4-beat rest. But on the fourth line, it's only a 1-beat rest there. So if you can keep tempo and try to follow it, and just try to follow what's here. And the next line is a 2-beat rest. Okay, the 4-beat rest, as we learned, you'll see it touching the top of this line here, and then the 2-beat rest touches the top of the line underneath. So or sits on the line underneath. Then on the next one here, this is a 3-beat rest. 1 beat followed by 2 beats, and then we finish it. So it's a little bit different, a little bit tricky. You have to keep your eyes open and think a little bit. But the more you do it, the less you have to think, which is good, and the better you'll get at it. All right, let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise 9H, the chromatic scale. So let's go over this. To correctly achieve playing the 8th notes, these are 8th notes. All right, you know what the 8th notes look like now. Play the first 8th note on the downbeat and the second 8th note on the upbeat as indicated by the arrows. Now look over here, you'll see the arrows. So that's the arrow going down, and that's the arrow going up. So the first note would be on the downbeat, and the second note would be on the upbeat. So let's continue reading this. Remember, when playing the 8th notes, count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, so 1, and then the up arrow is and. So it's 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and. Now another way of doing it, if there's 4 beats in the measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, as you see is indicated. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so tap your foot for the 4 beats first, and you're thinking to yourself as you're tapping 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, put 1 8th note on the downbeat, the next 8th note on the upbeat. I know I'm repeating myself, but I think that's the best way to learn this. So and this is the example now. This, you could practice this as example, but then we're going to play this chromatic scale. So you could just play this. We're going to play this on the trumpet. Ta 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 ta. We're going to practice that on the trumpet, and then we're going to apply these 8th notes to the chromatic scale, which is half steps: C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, all the ways up to the C and back down to the C. And all the fingerings are written for you. All the notes are written for you. So study as much as you need to. But you need to get good at this, so it's you're not hesitating on pushing your fingers down, and you're getting a good clean sound. So it's alright, so we're going to play all this together. Well, let's do it now. Let's play this practice one first, and you'll see the down and up indicated by the bell of the trumpet going up and down. 1, 2, 8. Alright, let's count like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now practice that as many times as you like to get the feel of the down and up on the 8th notes. Alright, now let's do the chromatic exercise together. Alright, so we'll do the same thing, down and up on that, and we'll play it up to the C, back down to the C, and then we'll repeat it. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Three, 4. Next, we're going to move on to the tonguing exercise, exercise 9I. Again, let's read this. To learn and execute this tonguing skill, think of pronouncing the syllable 2 each time you tongue a note. two, two, two. First, form the armature by saying M. Then the lips line up evenly, touch together. Second, say two, 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 with the top and bottom lips touching. Third, blow air continuously with the top and bottom lips pressed together while saying two with the tongue. When I say the bottom and top lips pressed together, I mean slightly touching. This will be more like spitting a seed off the tip of your tongue. This action will interrupt the airflow, and to achieve the tonguing skill, which is the same skill you learn to produce both the lip and the mouthpiece buzz. So basically, actually, we learned these skills already. So now we're just going to apply this to this tonguing exercise. All the notes on the exercise are G open finger, count the beats, and try to be as accurate with the timing as possible. You can use a metronome if you have one, and it is recommended. Start at tempo 60, and then you can always increase the tempo. You can go to 60, you can go to the next notch, go up to 80, whatever you want to go up to if you get to that point. All right, so again, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play this, and then try to play it along with me. All right, let's get the tempo. I guess we'll do it at 60 to start with, and I'll put this on 60, and let's listen to it. All right, so we'll do around that tempo. Let's get started. Try to play this together. Now you don't have to worry about fingerings or what the notes are. It's just a G. We're not changing fingerings on it. We're just practicing tonguing by staying on the G. Let's begin the exercise. Like always, we'll count to 4 first. 1, 2, 3. Now, I recommend we breathe in through the nose rather than take it off and reset it. So we see a little comma after that in that first line. That's a breath mark. That's where you breathe. Let's do the next line, which is quarter notes. 1, 2, Now do the next line. Or actually, actually, those lines should be played together, those 2 lines. Now let's go down to the 8th notes. Practice the 8th notes, which is on the 1, 2, 3, the fourth line down. So that 4th to 5th line should be played, consecutively. Play the 4th line and the 5th line all the same time. All right. Then again, we're doing all 8 notes. We could think 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so that's your first full tonguing exercise, and that's it for that exercise. We'll move on to the next exercise. Let me put it up on the screen and show you. All right, the next exercise, 9J, is a rhythm exercise. Now, exercises are getting longer. You have to think a little bit more, but I figured if you made it to this point in my book with me, you're pretty serious about getting better. So, I think we'll be able to do this together and learn. It just takes a little concentration. So let's read it. Study number 1 shows a dotted quarter followed by a dotted 8th note. The dot adds half the value to the original value of the note. The quarter note is 1 beat. The dot, which is half the value of that 1 beat. So you add the dot to get, here, we'll look at it over here. You see the dot after the note? So it's 1 beat, the dot adds a half a beat. So it's a dot followed by an 8th note. Now let's go down to here. See, dot followed by, it's the same thing. So instead of having a dot, it's just tied to the 8th note. So it's a beat and a half. So it's da, 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 1, 2, and da. Now, that's the same rhythm as this. It's just written differently. Not trying to confuse you. I'm just teaching you just the way you see what different ways that are written. And it's the same exact rhythm. Da, 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 da. All right, so that let's play that together, and then we'll move on to the next rhythms. All right, we'll do this line, then we'll do this line. 1, 2. Now the next line, which is the same exact rhythm, just written a different way. Okay, now we're going to do the next line, which is 1 and 1, 2 and 2, or you can think 1 and 2, 3 and 4, because there's 4 beats in the measure. So it's 2 eighth notes followed by a quarter, and let's do that line together. So that's the, if you're looking at the top, it's 1, 2, third line down. Actually, it says number 2 on the page, so that's where the line we're going to do now. Number 2 on the page. And you know, the word simile, S-I-M-I-L-E, means the same. All right, now let's do where it says number 3. Let's do that rhythm. It's quarter followed by 2 eighths. All right, now let's do 4A, which is eighth followed by another 8 tied to a quarter. So listen to how I play it, and then just copy it, and you'll get the feel. So really, that quarter that's tied to the 8 is a beat and a half. Same as if you go up to the right on number 18. Same timing. Let's play 4A, 2 eighth notes tied to a quarter. Okay, now let's do 4B on the bottom, which is the 8th note followed by a dotted quarter, and that's the exact same rhythm as 4A. It's just written different, but it's the same exact, hold the same way as you'll hear now. All right, so practice those rhythms quite often, and try to get them in your head, and you know, the beats, and keeping time with that. It takes time. No rush on that. Just do it every day, or all you can do it, and as many times as you can do it. Now the last exercise in lesson number 9, and we're going to do a song. We're doing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and we're going to do 2 different ways. One is written as quarter notes and half notes, and then one we're going to add some of those rhythms that we just learned. We're going to add that. We're going to add some of those rhythms to it, and we're going to play it 2 different ways to get 2 different sounds. And so let's play the first one together now. Nice and slow, and till we get the fingers down, and then we can pick up the speed a little bit. One other thing, you see the 2 C's are followed by the 2 G's, by the 2 A's, so we're going to have to tongue them so we can get a distinction between the notes. 1, All right, next we're going to do the Twinkle Twinkle, and when it's written differently, it's called a variation. So that would be the tune straight through. This is the variation. It's got eighth notes followed by dotted quarters. So you follow me the way I play it, and you'll probably enjoy playing it this way. Alright, so it's a little tricky if you're actually following all the notes. So try to play. What happens on the last one is we're reversing the way we played, so it's da 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 da. Alright, so song for you to practice. Practice straight, practice it a little variation, have fun playing it, play it a whole bunch of times, and eventually you'll have your first song memorized without even trying. Okay, so that was lesson number 9. So actually there's only 3 lessons left for the beginner lessons. We have to do 10, 11, and 12. And if you stuck with it to this point, let's keep going. Let's get it finished, and then you can move on to bigger and better things. So next week or the week after, we'll see you for lesson 10.